Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining our Enlightenment Through Meditation session every Saturday at 6 o'clock. And as always, I am very thankful to all of you for taking the time to joining us for this session, making your minds still to sit and be able to absorb what is being shared. And I'm also thankful to all those feet who have taken the time to walk to our place. Because as I always say, sitting in the company of truth is very difficult for the mind. Our heart likes it, our heart always wants it, but mind dominates it. And when we are ready to go to a place where the truth is being discussed, our mind tells us so many things that we have to do that we have no time to go. And Saturday after Saturday after Saturday, we miss that opportunity because there is only so many opportunities come in life to find truth. There are unlimited, not even opportunities, but other than those opportunities, there is all the time that mind takes over. And whatever we do at the level of mind, we cannot know in this human form until we leave the physical body, because that's how divine law works. And as I mentioned earlier, we like or we dislike, but divine law operates the way it operates. It doesn't ask our permission that do we like it or do we not like it. It just happens. So that is why I feel very thankful to all those minds who calm down enough to be even in the company where the path of truth or path of self-realization is being discussed. Because first step is always to hear, to understand at the level of mind, then it trickles down to heart, because heart already likes the truth. We all know the truth at the level of our own heart, and that's why it's called self-realization. While we are even not saying the truth, heart knows. Our own heart knows, and that's why self. We think when we present something else to someone, we are making a fool of that person. Maybe we think like that because mind is dominating. Deep down we know what we are doing. And the same inside of us that tells us that this is not really the right thing, the other person also has the same consciousness who feels something is not right but doesn't say anything because our society teaches us otherwise. But when we start following the path of truth, we want to do the truth. Not to please anyone, just to please ourselves. So last time, it seems like we had some technical difficulties. So our last session, which was self-awareness, action and reaction, I think could not be broadcasted properly. So in a different light, I decided to do this session again and maybe take in smaller pieces, because the law of action and reaction is fairly deep. And I mentioned last time also, very difficult to put the whole thing together in 30 minutes or so. So the agenda for today is self-awareness, action, reaction. How long does it go? When do our actions stop? And when the reactions stop? So when we are doing action today, then maybe a reaction will happen right away. But maybe if we have done an action, just being logical about it, if we have done action on 89th year of our life, and on 90th year we had to leave the physical body, where the reaction is gonna come? And who's gonna take it? It's done by us. So if we buy the lottery ticket and the number comes, we are the first one to say, hey, this is my number if we win. But if we do something wrong and we need to be jailed, we try to hide and say, this is actually, I didn't do it, although at heart we know we did it. So action and reaction, when we do it, when would we get the result? How long does it take? Does the reaction come in this life, or does it go beyond? That means we committed an action today, and then maybe right away accident happened and we left the physical body. Somebody has to pay the price, because that's the law. Law is whatever you will sow, so shall you reap. So if we put some seed there and we left the physical body, would the reaction come in beyond, or would it come now? And then that leads to a very big question. What is reincarnation? That means again. Would we born again? And if we will born again, would we born to take the consequences of all those actions that we have done? It's a question. Our self-awareness sessions are very open-ended. They are not related to anything just but the path of truth. That if the divine law dictates anything you do, action, you have to get a reaction. So if you are going to leave the physical body and you have committed an action, when you will get the reaction? And to bear that reaction, will you come back in the human form? Or will you come back as a bird? Or would you become a tree? Who's going to decide that? And would it be decided? These are so many questions in the law of action and reaction. And what does it mean? All this is happening haphazard? Or really it's way too organized beyond our human comprehension of mind? Because mind likes to see something. It uses the physical eyes. Mind uses the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears. All those things are used by mind. But when you get a feeling, you go to a restaurant and you look at around and something, and the food is good, but maybe there is something you go, I don't feel right. And sometimes we listen to it, sometimes we don't. But somebody who is saying, I don't feel right, that's heart talking to us, our consciousness talking to us. How much we are receptive to it depends how much aware we are of self. So what does it all mean? Where is the law? How does this law work? And does it work haphazard? Just whoever does something gets something, like in this material world. Although this material world looks very lawful, but if you go deeper into it, we all know the word bribe. If it was so fair and truthful, this word would not have come into the dictionary. That means there is something bribery that happens in this material law. But when it comes to divine law, it doesn't exist. Whatever you do, you got to pay. And self, we have to see our own actions. There will be a time in our life that we will be able to see what we did. And with what intention did we do? And what are the results we are getting, and why are we getting? Very, very clear. Divine law has no complication. But our mind does not want to understand, does not understand. Even if it understands, does not want to believe. And even if it believes, it says, oh, who cares? I'm going to leave the body. I'm done. I don't know what happens to me, and I don't really care. That's also an attitude. And that is why it's very important, and I always say I am so thankful for all those minds who sit in the company of truth and listen to their own hearts. Because there is nothing that literally if I could infuse to you or you could infuse to me. This path is of self-realization, means your progress is dependent on your own actions, which you already know. And when you fall, sometimes your awareness tells you and lifts you again, and you fall and it goes back up again. And this is a path where ups and downs are only logical. So going back to this agenda, there are two other things, which are the action and reaction. Would these reactions come to us at a bodily level because the body was the one that committed the action, or would they come as abstract? What does abstract mean? If someone is suffering at the level of mind, they are suffering a depression, for example. Now, depression is not a bodily thing. If somebody had got their finger cut, that's a bodily thing, action and reaction. But when the mind is hurting, there is no way we can see it. That falls under abstract. So the action, whatever we do, the reaction could be at a bodily level. So we did something good, and somebody came and gave us a flower which we enjoyed by smelling it. Or we did a bad action, and as a result of that we fell down and broke our leg, and now we have a fracture and we can't walk properly. There are two ways. This is bodily. But then we have done an action where now we are hurting at the level of mind, which we can't even explain to someone. That is a different kind of reaction we are getting, which will fall under the category of abstract. So as I mentioned, this is a very, very deep subject, a law of action and reaction. But we will go and talk about how long does it take and when does it start. So when does it start? When we are born. You can see that when somebody is born, they don't have literally a control. Somebody is born in a very poor family. Somebody is born in a very rich family. Or everybody goes through different places when they are born. So the question comes, why? Why everybody doesn't end up taking a birth in a very rich family or in a very poor family or in a worker's family or whatever that may be? That already shows that somebody has brought their destiny with them. And we say that you have brought your destiny. Sometimes we know people, do something, do a crossword puzzle or something and win millions of dollars. No big deal. Someone is working lifelong, cannot make enough even to survive on. So they do bring their destiny. Destiny does fall in the action and reaction law. And why is that? Because whatever actions we are doing now, they need to be repaid somehow. Sooner, later, this life, next life, it has to be done because that's the law. So if we were born in a family where there is lots of amenities we can enjoy, that means we have done something in the past that we are bearing the fruit. So the action and reaction goes on and on and on and on. And therefore when we start, our actions become so powerful that we start thinking of joining the meditation groups or going in solitude. What is happening there? We are trying to get out of this thinking and actions. The real purpose of meditation is to let go. Don't think anymore and rely on that power who has given you the birth. So if that be the case, then with us thinking or without us thinking, does it really make a difference? We think so. We think that I am doing something and that is why it's being done. But sometimes it so happens we are unable to do something. And if you notice, with or without us, this world will still be running. Nobody's gonna stop. Nobody's gonna wait, because that's the law. The new comes, the old goes. The new comes, the old goes. And it's the movement. It's moving on and on and on. Actions are happening at the mind level, abstract level, and the body level, both levels. So it will continue to go on and on. So when it comes to the question of how long it has been happening, you will realize that we have been bringing with us. Now, okay, we have our destiny coming with us now. So how do we rectify it, or how do we go about it? It's a very long journey. It's the path of evolution. And the evolution starts from bacteria or virus or fungus and all these unicellular, one cell only. From one cell to, you can say, human form, highly evolved. Everything is very evolved. So this is a very, 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 very long journey. 840,000 species of life, one person has to pass to get to the human form, because it's a law of evolution. You go one by one step at a time, and you can imagine that if one lizard's life is, I don't know, 40 years or 30 years or 10 years, or a rabbit or something, and you compile it, how long could it take for us to first get into a human form? And then when we get in the human form and we start thinking, all that thinking that we do at the level of mind is being recorded, is considered an action, and therefore has to bear the reaction. And if once we go deeper into this divine law, we will realize sooner or later with our own understanding that how beautifully this whole creation is running, and why it is running, and what is the purpose of this creation, and what is our purpose. So we will just concentrate on how long today, and then we will take the other parts in our future talks. But how long does it take? So when we start growing up and getting further in life, our actions start to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And the book, moment by moment, we are writing something in it. When we are writing something in it, obviously there is going to be another book of reactions. You did this, therefore you did this, you will get this, and you did this, and therefore that book at the same time is being written for this one. So you can yourself imagine that if you are 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, how big that book is becoming, and how careful we need to be for our actions. So how do we know what are good actions and what are not so good actions? And one of the main things about that is that when you do an action for an animal, for a plant, for another human being, and you bring happiness to them, there is just a feeling within you that makes you feel very good, because you connected, you made someone very happy. That person out of happiness gives a certain kind of feeling or a blessing that penetrates to the heart. And because the conscious entity is the same, we all like that very much. That falls under virtuous actions or good actions. Because something that makes other person good or makes them feel good makes us feel good. And when everything is good, the divine receives it, because those vibrations are good in the nature. And if you look around, a tree is always giving good vibes. Sun is always giving good vibes. Moon is always giving good vibes. There are no negative vibes that come from nature. Sometimes we like to go to a forest, there are many trees, because there the positivity is too much. Or we go to the beaches, ocean, because again there is big ocean, all positive energy coming to us. We are so negative, we absorb all that and feel good. So divine is full with positive energy, and when we give a little bit of positivity to someone and someone needs it and gets it, a lot of positivity comes back. That is another law, and that is why there is a saying, you give good, the more good will come to you. You give bad, the more bad will come to you. Again, the same law, whatever you sow, so shall you reap. So once we start our actions and we start to realize that, we go inside, because this happiness is something within us. We cannot buy happiness. We cannot go to Ralph or any other store and say, hey, can I have a pound of happiness? That comes by doing the actions, thought through actions, good actions, which truly make somebody happy. If I have to give food to someone, I better give them good food that makes them full, enjoy it, and feel good about it. If I gave the food because I wasn't going to eat it anyways, I was gonna throw it, I gave it to someone, maybe they didn't like it. And then, although I feel that I am doing good, in actuality I didn't. So what happens according to divine law? The same thought of me feeling good about myself that I gave something, but it didn't make the other person happy. The blessings didn't come. So what came back? My ego of giving becoming big and coming back to me. That's not so helpful. Therefore, each action has to be thought through, and the judgment comes from our own self, because we know what we are doing. And as we progress little by little, further and further on this path of self-awareness, and we start looking into our own self, not to others. If someone else comes, you are like this or you are like that, that's okay for them to say, but that doesn't change anything. We are still the same what we were, and we know what we are. Sometimes it's a good thing, someone makes us to realize, and that's a good thing. We should take that positive thing and turn into our own benefit. But whatever we do really is all up to us, because it's part of self-awareness. We need to look our own actions, and we need to find out, are we really spreading the good around us? Because we want, all of us want happiness all the time. But the law says you have to give happiness to bring back the happiness. At that time, we don't want to. We want to give our sorrows to others and expect happiness, but that's not the law. So it is our duty to find out the law, how it works, why it works, and how we can utilize it to our own benefit. And how does that happen? When we start going in the company of those who talk about the law of truth. Because it's pure truth. Heart is nothing but pure truth. We put a lot of things around it to complicate it. But at the end of the whole thing, the truth still emerges out, and we know. So the law of action and reaction is totally based on that truth. If we are truthful to us and therefore to others, for that action, literally there is no reaction, because it is truth, it is divine, it is following the divine law. That means we have become one. Why we have become one? Because now we are not dominated by the mind, which asks us to do crooked things. We are totally listening to heart, and we are in the heart. Heart speaks the truth. We are becoming the truth. And when we are becoming the truth, the divine all around us, nature is truth. When we become merged with the nature, we have become one with one. And therefore our self, our ego self has gone down to nothing. And when that mind has gone down to nothing, there is no more action anymore. Because action only comes when we think, I am, and I exist, and I need to do action. And we put divine law behind us. So the long part, how long? It starts right from when we are born, depending on how we are raised and what we have brought with us. Everything, the Pandora box opens and we start to grow. But lucky are those who start looking at themselves, who start to doing those actions where there is no reaction, which the road that leads to salvation. So next time when we come back, we will talk about, would we be given the results of our actions in this life, or it will be beyond after leaving the physical body. So thank you very much for joining the session today. I love you all, and remember, happiness is not too far. If you would like, you can write to us either on Ustream or on our website, that's drkors.com. You can visit our Facebook page, that is facebook.com/drkors. You can watch all these videos at youtube.com/drkors, and we love to hear your comments. We always get some sort of comments and suggestions, and we sure appreciate it. And as I have mentioned, it is always good to spread the word of truth. So if you have your friends and family, hopefully they can join the same session and I can be interacting with more people. So thank you once again, and I will see you next Saturday again at 6 o'clock. Until then, bye-bye.